Have you ever felt stuck? Like you know exactly what you want to do, but you just can't seem to make any real consistent progress? It's an incredibly common feeling. But what if I told you it's not because you lack talent or motivation? What if the reason is actually much simpler and a whole lot more powerful? Okay, let's get into this.
All right, so this quote, it might feel a little uncomfortable. And you know what? That's usually a good sign. It means we've hit on something real. We're all taught to set these big, ambitious goals, right? But this idea completely flips that on its head. It's suggesting that our goals are actually less important than the daily, quiet rules we live by.
So what's the real difference here? Well, goals, they live in your imagination. They're what you hope for, what you dream about. But standards live in your everyday behavior. They're what you actually accept, what you tolerate, and what you repeat, especially when nobody's watching.
So here's the game plan for the next few minutes. We're going to break down this whole mental model. We'll start with that crucial difference between goals and standards, then dive into the main event, the identity-behavior loop. We'll look at how what you tolerate secretly trains you, why you have to act before you feel ready, and finally, how all this comes together to forge your future self. Okay, let's start with this foundational piece. Your life isn't organized around the standards you talk about or the ones you admire in other people. No, it's organized around the standards you actually enforce, day in and day out. Just think about it for a second. What are the hidden rules that truly run your life?
And this just nails the point home, doesn't it? You can want to be successful, but if you accept constant distraction, you get distraction. You can want to be confident, but if you accept breaking promises to yourself, well, that confidence is going to crumble. Life will always side with your behavior, not your good intention.
And now we get to the absolute heart of this whole idea, and it connects directly to what we were just saying. It's called the identity-behavior loop. This is the powerful, often invisible cycle between who you believe you are and what you repeatedly do. This is how your identity isn't just something you claim, it's something you earn. So I want you to think of it this way. Every single thing you do, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, is like you're casting a ballot. It's a tiny piece of evidence you're submitting to the world and to yourself about the kind of person you are. And over time, all those little votes, they add up. They don't just predict your future, they literally build it. Brick by brick, you become your behaviors. Now what's so cool here is seeing how this process actually unfolds. Look at step one, your behavior casts a vote. Simple enough. Then, as you repeat that behavior, those votes start to pile up, right? They build a body of evidence. That evidence, which is step three, begins to shape your identity, your core belief about who you are. And here's the magic part. Once that identity is set, it starts to drive your behavior automatically. You're not even thinking about it anymore. You just are that person. So if that loop is so powerful, what breaks it? Or maybe even worse, what reinforces a negative loop? Well, this brings us to a really critical idea, the hidden cost of all those small compromises we make. Because what you tolerate is never neutral. It is actively training you, for better or for worse. I want you to really take a moment and think about this. This isn't about judging yourself, not at all. It's just about noticing. What are you putting up with? Is it a habit that just drains your energy? An environment that keeps you playing small? Or maybe it's that voice in your head that erodes your confidence. Just being aware of it is the first and most important step to changing the pattern. This really lays it all out in black and white. If you look on the left, if you tolerate inconsistency, you're not just being flexible, no, you are actively training yourself to be unreliable. If you tolerate constant distraction, you are literally training your mind to be distracted. See, tolerance makes decline feel comfortable, and that is its greatest danger. So how do we build a positive loop, especially on those days when we have absolutely zero motivation? Well, this is where we have to unlearn one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. This part is all about finally breaking that cycle of delay.
Oh, we've all been here, haven't we? We tell ourselves we're just waiting for the right moment, for that surge of confidence or a big wave of motivation. But let's be honest, readiness is often just fear wearing a very reasonable-looking mask. If you wait until you feel perfectly ready, you're going to be waiting forever.
So here it is, the truth bomb. Action does not follow clarity. Clarity follows action. You don't need confidence to get started. Confidence is the byproduct you get from moving. You have to move first, even when it's messy and you're uncertain, and just let the feelings catch up later.
And acting before you're ready doesn't mean you have to demand perfection from yourself.
On your absolute worst days, the goal isn't to thrive, it's just to protect continuity. We call this the bare minimum. For a writer, that's not writing a whole chapter, it's writing one sentence. For someone starting a fitness habit, it's not a 30-minute run, it's just putting on your running shoes. It's not laziness, it's a survival strategy. And doing something small is infinitely better than doing nothing at all, because it keeps that chain of consistency alive. Okay, let's bring this all home and see what the final outcome looks like. When you consistently cast those votes for the person you want to become, when you stop tolerating what weakens you, and when you learn to act without needing emotional permission, you begin to literally forge a new version of yourself.
So here are the key strategies we've talked about. Let's run through them real quick. Finish what you start. That builds trust with yourself. Protect your baseline on the hard days. Simplify the task, but don't lower your standard. Whatever you do, don't break the chain of consistency. Act without needing to feel like it. And when you slip up, and you will, just correct yourself calmly and get right back on track. No drama, just alignment.
And this, right here, this is the ultimate payoff. It's not about the goals you hit or the stuff you acquire. The real prize, the thing that changes everything, is a deep, quiet, unshakable self-trust. It's the confidence that comes from knowing, from a mountain of evidence, that you will show up for yourself, that you can be counted on.
So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. The past doesn't matter anymore, and the future isn't here yet. All you have is your very next action. That action is a choice. It's a vote. So the only question is, who are you voting to become?